I'm a yeah, man. 100%. One question I definitely want to ask you. I'm excited to get your song "Bullshit." When you wrote that, did that have was that pretty much Terrence McKenna's stoned ape theory in song format? It has to be.
When I wrote that song, to be honest, it started out as a complete joke. It was something my wife said. She was my girlfriend at the time, actually. And it was right around, the 2016 election. And she was reading something and she was just like, everything is bullshit. And I had my guitar and I was just like, everything is bullshit, just to make her laugh, Yeah. And I was playing these chords while I was doing it. I was like, oh, that's kind of catchy, everything. And we were at Neil and Daryl's place, Neil Young and Daryl Hannah's place for dinner not too long after that, hanging out. And I was showing him my new record and we were just kind of sharing song ideas. And I was like, hey, listen to this one. And I was saying, everything is bullshit. And Neil's cracking up and he goes, keep going. So I'm like just staying on the B minor and C. Came out of a bowl. It landed on the ground. And I'm just kind of stream of consciousness making this shit up.
Oh, wow.
Just saying stuff to make Neil laugh.
Yeah.
But then it kind of took that kind of
psychedelic
goes
turn
to this place where it's no longer just a joke or a cynical thing.
No.
And it goes through that whole journey. And, to really answer your question, absolutely. I especially in high school, I loved listening to Terrence McKenna.
Me too.
And I ate a lot of mushrooms and I just inevitably that kind of narrative was coming through in that moment, just kind of wanting to turn this feeling of disparity into actually something that's kind of profound and healing, ultimately, making it a literal thing, but then it turns into a more cosmic perspective.
Yeah.
But it was all pretty much an accident and just coming from just a place of wanting to laugh and make people laugh.
I love that song because that's kind of been my motto for most of my life is like, everything's bullshit. Like business is bullshit. Like a lot of people are full of shit. Like you can, it just resonated with me. And then
that's one thing about psychedelics is they just cut through the bullshit.
They cut through it. If you do enough mushrooms, your ego will fucking die. And that's a very scary place to be. Like, what am I? I'm nothing. Oh my God, I'm not, and then through that journey, plus the visuals are pretty cool too, but you can learn something. I had one of my best friends, he in college, he had a bunch of acid and he was fucking up, plain and simple. Mm-hmm. I was in his room he did a lot. God, I felt 12, 15 hours, comes out in the morning and is like, guys, I know what I have to do. And we're like, what's that? Like, I'm getting straight A's this next quarter and I'm turning my life around. And from that day, fucking turned his life around, a few years later, quit drinking and now he's crushing life. But like, psychedelics are definitely a tool to reset your brain, right? I think it's a giant reset for a lot of people. And there's other plant medicines, such as Datura, which I've never done, don't want to do, that people go to Mexico to deal with addictions, is a very difficult, from what I've heard, a very difficult trip that you're on. And it's you're going to be you're going to journey within and figure out why you are, addicted to something. And, in my opinion, I think that addiction is unaddressed trauma from your past that you're trying to escape. But yeah, man, the song was great because it starts out funny, but then it takes a left turn, and then pretty soon you're in it. And I really love that song. Really,
Thank you.
yeah, man. It's.
I never thought that would be become a popular song when I wrote it. I definitely get a kick out of that. People really resonate with it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're a man of passions, and it's my understanding you're very passionate about maps research. Are you involved in that in any way, or?
Not literally. I mean, I donate to them.
Yeah.
And I promote them when I can because I'm a huge supporter and believer in maps.
Yeah, I am as well. It's These are the medicines that we're speaking of are decriminalized in my state now, so that's nice up in Oregon. So
that's great. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the war on drugs is more or less over at this point when it comes to really cracking down on these types of things, at least in most of the country. And I am a fan of the decriminalization approach versus the just legalize it approach all at once.
Yeah.
I think that in a way, psychedelics just inherently don't really allow for the culture to completely commercialize it. Just the experience itself for anyone who's had that, it's like, it's not quite the same as like marijuana. It's like that can totally easily be this recreational commercialized thing, but just like anyone who's had a high dose psychedelic experience, that when you go through that, it has such a profound imprint on your whole nervous system. That it's so much to process. And a lot of that involves, the opposite of sort of, just excessive capitalization and exploitation and commercialization of everything. And, it just informs the need for treating it with respect and caution, and
it lets you know that we're all connected and that this isn't something that we need to make money off of. This is something that we need to share because we would all.
It's medicine.
It's medicine. We would all get along. You realize that I am you and you are me. You are me, just in another life with a slightly lighter shade of skin. And we're all brothers and sisters. It really helps you become connected with it harmonize. It makes you care about the planet. Like lay down on the ground on a mushroom trip and just like, oh my God, I'm part of this whole fucking planet, man. And we're just hurling through the universe. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes I've had some pretty profound trips in like Central Oregon in the Ponderosa Pines. And I was watching, I don't even know if it's real. I do think it's real, right? Like just beams of energy shooting up and down the trees. And then you get online, you learn that in the ground, right, the soil, there's mycelium that sends nutrients to different trees, right? So it's like this neural network that it's been going on for millions of years, and we've just figured out what the fuck's going on, man. These plants the mycelium can determine whether it sends nutrients to one tree or whether this tree dies. Like there's this whole ecosystem. We had a scientist on the show years ago, soil science, which we'll probably get into that when we talk about regenerative farming. But we've got a large problem with our soil. And, we haven't we're not the best stewards of the planet, and